Many people these days can't even afford to buy a house to live to live in themselves. So it's, for many people, having additional rental properties is completely out of reach. What I tend to do is I tend to buy cheaper properties in up and coming areas, and I buy them cash. I do not take out a loan. I do not take out a mortgage. As you're gonna see, the properties that I bought all three of them are condos. All three of them are pretty cheap, and they give about a 25% return on your investment in terms of rent. It's just an amazing thing, and you cannot usually find it anywhere else. And I do not take out a loan. I do not take out a mortgage. I don't believe in that stuff. So guys, if you wanna learn about the properties and how I did it and how you can too, look for these cheaper properties in the up and coming areas. Make sure you stick around for the whole video because I'm going to be doing some calculations all the way in the end, which are going to show you how much you should be paying for the property based on how much rent you could get. Now, I was trying to figure out the best way to present this because these properties are currently rented, so I do have renters in there. I cannot reveal the address of the property, and I cannot reveal who lives there. What I am going to reveal is the monthly rent, the general location of the properties when I bought them, what are my expenses, what is my income, for how much I bought them for, and then we're going to do some calculations and see what is my yearly return on these properties. And remember guys, if you enjoyed this video just a tiny bit, please click that like and subscribe button. It would help a ton. Now let's get started. So guys, the best way that I found of how to present this is to actually go over these properties using Zillow. Now, whenever you go on Zillow, you could claim a property as your own. So that's what I did. I claimed these properties actually a long time ago. So what's gonna happen is that you could see there's a Zillow homepage right in front of you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on my account and we're gonna click on your home. So in order to actually get your property listed under your homes, you have to go through a verification process. So this way guys, you know that these are actually my properties. And click on your homes, and as you can see, I have more than 3 properties. I do own 8 properties, but only 3 of them are rentals. Okay, so these are the top 3 right here. As you can see, the address is blacked out, guys, and we're gonna go over the pictures. We're gonna go over the price of these properties. Let me just So let's get started with the first one. As you can see, I started purchasing these rental properties about a year ago during the pandemic, and I got really good prices, especially in the first 2 that I bought. As you can see, the ones that says purchased in 2020, this one in the middle here, it says purchased in July 2020, and the one to the right, September 2020, I got an amazing price on these because no one was buying and the prices were going down. As you can see, the one all the way on the left here, it was purchased in May 2021, so maybe like 9 months after the pandemic it started subsiding. As you could see, and as you will see, the price that I paid for that one is about 15% higher than I paid for the other ones. Granted, it's a little bit bigger. It's actually 738 square feet as opposed to the other 2. The cheaper ones is 615 square feet, but the price difference is still it's still a good deal, but I could have gotten a better deal if I was to buy it during the pandemic, but I didn't have enough capital at that time. So let's start with the one that I bought first, the one that I bought on July 2020. That's my first investment. Now guys, all of these are condos. Okay, these are not like single unit family homes or anything like that. These are condos, and as you will see further in this video, that whenever you get involved with condos, you have to deal with an HOA fees and all of that stuff. So we're gonna go over what is my actual return on investment, gross rental yield, and then we're gonna take out some expenses, and we'll see, is this worth it or is it not worth it for us? So let's click on this middle one. And what I like to see is, and I like to click on public view because that gives you all the necessary information to evaluate the property. So we're going to click on the public view here. As you can see up here, it says sold for $38,000 on July 15th, 2020. So a little bit more than a year ago. And as you can see, in just over 14 months, the actual zestimate of this property now is $46,000. $1,600. So that's a pretty good appreciation already. So we're gonna click on home value, and the Zestimate is like I said before, is 46,000, but you could see the range is anywhere from 41 to $52,000. So that's if I bought it for 38 and I could sell it for 52, that's over 30% return in just 14 months, which are amazing numbers. As you can see, the last 30 days the price changed by $1,600, which is nice, which is 3.6%. And I also like to click Owner Tools, because Owner Tools will tell you how much you could get for rent on this property. As you can see over here, if I was to list this home for rent right now, I can get an average of $999 per month on this property. And remember, guys, this property cost me $38,000, and I can get $1,000 a month rent. That's a very good ratio. That's a very, very good ratio. However, I'm going to tell you right away that this property I'm renting for $800. Now you could say, hey, Trey, what are you doing? You could get $1,000 a month. Why are you renting it for $800? Well, guys, remember, whenever you're dealing with condos, you're dealing with HOA fees. You're dealing with property taxes. You also don't want your condo to stay listed for rent for a prolonged period of time. So by lowballing the price by actually about 20%, I got the renter just like this. I did not, waste any time looking for renter, because every month that goes, I have to pay the HOA fee. And as you will see, the HOA fee is actually a big chunk. Is a big chunk of money, that goes to God knows where. Let's look at some of the pictures of this property. Once again, these are small units. They're older units. A lot of the times I need to spend some money to renovate it. Now, again, the type of people that are renting over there are not the rich or the wealthy. So again, you don't need to have like this crazy modern smart home, right? These people are happy with just having a roof over their head, having a TV. Now remember, all these three property, guys, I'm going to say it right now, they actually came with furniture. Right, so all of these three properties, they came furnished. So the person, whoever is renting, they just move in, they have a TV, they have a chair, they have an air conditioner, everything. It's an amazing thing. And another thing, all of these three properties, they actually have amenities. They have a pool, they have a gym, they have a yard, they have a bus that actually takes them around the community, and it takes them outside of the community to shopping centers. Like it's an amazing thing. So once again, it's an older property. As you can see, it's an older rug. We have tiles, which is very important. Windows, I had to actually replace an air conditioner on one of these properties, but that's not a big deal. That's a one-time thing, right? So if you look at it again, you have older furniture. It's not as stylish, but again, people are happy with what they got. The kitchen is very small. The cabinets are a little bit on the older side. That yellow vent, I actually changed it for the renter the minute I bought it, because it just did not go. Everything is nice and white, but the that vent was yellow, which is really, really weird to me. So I just changed it. Again, the shower, again, guys, everything is nice and simple here. There's nothing crazy. You get the TV over there. The bed is a nice view. That's kind of like what they look like, because there's many, many units there. It's by the lake, which is an amazing thing, being by the lake. This is like the center where there's a bunch of activities, so you could go there, you could play pool, ping pong. It's an amazing thing. This is the pool that I was talking about. It's actually a really nice pool. I've been there once, guys. A lot of these properties kind of just bought them without actually being there, but I did go there once to check out what it's all about. So that's the first property, okay, and I bought it for about $38,000, and I'm currently renting it for $800 a month. Let's move on to the next property. Okay, guys, so now let's look at the second property that I bought. And this one I bought it's September 2020. Okay, it's this one, all the way on the right. Now let's click on it. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to click on public view. Okay, now check it out. This one, I also got a really, really good deal on it. However, in September, the pandemic was kind of starting to die down a little bit. People were thinking about the vaccine. It's the exact same unit as the previous one. However, I can only negotiate it down to $40,000. So I purchased this property for about $40,000 to $41,000, and just on September 24th, 2020. And as you can see, this estimate at this point, the average is $48,300. Wow, what an amazing thing, right? Just a year later, actually exactly 12 months later, we're talking 15% on this, right? So what I also like to click here, I like to click on home value. And as you can see, I could sell it from anywhere from $43,000 to $54,000, anywhere from that range. Now, guys, remember, these come fully furnished. So anything you need to survive is already there. Now, my renters, they're free to, if they want to buy something extra or they want to upgrade something nice, they're welcome to do it. This one I'm renting again for about $800 a month. It's 615 square feet. Again, it's an older unit. It's pretty much the same as the previous one, just in a different building. Let's click on owner tools. Again, this one, it says that I can get 1,040 and this one says that I can get $1,044 a month on this one. Once again, I did not want to keep this on the market for too long because you would have to wait anywhere from like 90 to 120 days. And in these days, you have to pay property taxes and you have to pay the HOA fee. Okay, so I listed it for $800 a month and I got the renter right away, no time wasted. We're in there and my renter is loving that place because it's nice and cheap. He has all the amenities. He has the pool, he has the bus, he has the parking spots, everything included just for $800 a month. It doesn't get better than that. Let's take a look at some pictures. Okay, so once again, this one, as you can see, it's actually a little bit older than the one that I bought in the beginning because it's carpeted. There's no tiles, and usually whenever the condo has tiles, it's more in value. But it is what it is, and it's still a good deal. Okay, as you can see, it's carpeted. The renter is okay with it. If he does request, I will change it for tiles. It would cost about $5,000 to do that. As you can see, an older unit, the colors, not something we would use in modern homes today. Once again, it came like this, fully furnished, tables, pictures, the chair, the lamps, everything. The kitchen, again, they all come with a dishwasher, actually. And this one does have a dishwasher. Even though you can't see it, the dishwasher is there, just like in the previous one. You got the refrigerator, the stove, the vent was good. I didn't have to change that. The microwave, all of that is included in there. Look at that. Old style sink. Nothing crazy. This is the bedroom. Actually, the carpet in the bedroom does look more cozy now that I look at it, and it's actually pretty nice. You can actually leave it in the bedroom. The one downside, I don't know if you guys noticed, there is no air conditioner in the bedroom on this one, but the renter was okay with it because it's small enough that the big AC in the living room can cool off the entire house. Now again, this is wasted electricity, wasted all of that stuff, but it is what it is. And obviously another thing that I wanted to say, and I forgot to mention earlier, guys, is that I wanted to list it low and get it rented right away because I would have to pay for water and electricity while no one is there. So we're talking property taxes, we're talking HOA, we're talking electricity, water, sewer, garbage disposal, all of that crazy stuff. So once again, it's better to lowball the price, get the renter in there, and then you can increase it as the years go by, and hopefully they enjoy it there and find a $20 a year increase on their rent or anything like that. So let's look at some more pictures. Again, it's a clean condo. Again, a simple bathroom, right? So you got that simple shower. It's nothing to say holy moly. Actually, that AC on the bottom, I had to completely replace it. In this one, it was like 90 years old. So that was a little repair that I had to do. Get a new air conditioner. All of these units actually come with the balcony, right? They have like a little patio and the balcony of their own, which is like an amazing thing, right? So that's pretty cool. So very cozy. You got the lights, the chair, that's kind of like the entrance to the whole thing. You can also barbecue. There's a public barbecue areas. So once again, it's a really good community. So that's this one. And once again, I got a really good deal on this one. The renters are happy, and let's move on to the third and final property. Okay guys, so now the third and final property is the one on the left. Now this one I bought in May 2021, where people are not as worried about the pandemic as they were when I bought the other two. So let's check it out. Now this property is a little bit bigger. It's 738 square feet. It has one bedroom but 2 bathrooms, as opposed to the other two that had 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. So let's check it out, man. You're gonna be surprised how much newer this one is. Now I did get a decent deal on this one as well, because these were selling for anywhere like 60,000 and higher when I was buying it. However, the people that were selling it, they needed to sell it really quick because they had to fly somewhere to Texas. They were gonna live with their son from now on, so they need a quick sell. And I was able to lower the price all the way down to $53,500 on this one. Let's check it out. So this estimate is actually at this point is $57,500, which is holy moly, right? We're talking like a 10% return, and I bought it in May. Right now it's September, so we're talking 4 months. Let's check out the home value. Once again, you could sell it right now anywhere between $52,000 to $64,000. Pretty interesting. Good return already. Last 30 days is $1,600. And once again, we click on owner tools. Check it out. We can get $1,200 per month on a $53,500 investment. That is such a good deal, guys. This is such a good deal. Once again, I downbolded just like my other ones. I'm currently renting it for $1,000 a month, just so I don't have to pay property taxes, electricity, and all of that out of my pocket, while I have no income from the renter. So once again, I'm renting this one for $1,000 a month. Let's look at the pictures now. These ones, guys, they removed the more newer pictures when I bought it because I requested it, but we do have a couple of pictures. You could see the kitchen and the cabinets. As you could see around, it looks much newer. The sink looks newer, the windows look newer, so it's definitely a newer unit, and it was definitely well maintained by the people who lived there previously. A newer refrigerator, as you can see, newer couches. You got that beautiful light on the ceiling with the spinning fan, this beautiful glass table, that lamp. So you can see these people had styles. Also, their blinds are not just like those cheap $20 blinds. It's actually pretty expensive blinds that are there. Now this is all included in $1,000 a month, and those amenities that I mentioned earlier. Again, they get the beautiful patio here. As they see, there's like a patio cover on this one. The chairs are just much more quality to this one than the other two that I mentioned earlier, and that is why it was a little bit more expensive. The bathroom, unfortunately, there's not that good pictures of a bathroom, but look at this, like the mirror, it just looks newer, right? It looks more refreshed. The paint looks more refreshed than the previous ones. That's like the beautiful entrance to this one. So that's another thing. It's just a newer thing. So once again, guys, this one I'm renting for $1,000 a month, and it's a newer unit. I think I still got a really good deal on it. And guys, now let's do some math and let's see what is my return on these properties. Let's do some math, some calculations, and see how much percent per year do I get from these properties. Is it worth the headache? All right, guys, so this is actually an Excel spreadsheet that I use to keep track of all my rentals, the rental income, my expenses. As you can see, we have the address here, which is blurred out because, well, for privacy reasons. And then over here, I have a name of the renters, which are also blurred out. Now, everything else is visible, so we can really dig into this, guys. We have a date bought, we have a price. Now, the price is a little bit different from what I mentioned before, but there were some closing costs involved. So I kind of took some of the closing costs and I put it into that price. So as you can see, we we bought one at 41,000, then one at 38,000, and I put one at 55,000. So it's a little bit higher than what I mentioned before. So our total expenses to buy these 3 condos was $134,000. Now, this is my gross income from rent so far. Okay, so all of them were bought at different times, so they were rented for different amount of months, so that's why those numbers are a little bit different. Now, property tax, right? So you have to pay property tax. Those units are in Florida. I can go as far as say that those are in Florida. So there is some property tax associated with it. I already paid property tax on 2 of them, the cheaper ones, and because I bought the third one in 2021, I didn't pay the property tax yet, but it's going to be around $800 to $900. Now, the biggest thing that's a negative with these properties is the HOA, right? So as you could see, and I'm gonna click here, but if you look on the left here, I have a little function there. It says multiply, and then it says 2 numbers on it. Now the number on the left here, 351, that's actually how much the HOA is, and the second number is how many months I've been paying this HOA, right? So as you could see, for the one that I paid $41,000 on, my HOA is $351. On the second one is $385, and on the most expensive one is $420. Now, guys, these are big chunks, okay? Because the rent for the 2 cheaper ones is $800 a month, and the HOA, let's say an average of $360. That's about 40%. So 40% of my rental income that I get, I pay to the HOA. Now that's a big chunk, 40%. That's a big chunk. Now, if you take into account the property tax and some of the expenses, I have expenses over here. For example, minus $600 is when I had to replace the air conditioner and a couple of other things. Over here, I had to replace the faucet and the vent and stuff like that. So actually, all these expenses, guys, add up to about 50 to 55% of the rental income per month goes into the HOA expenses and property taxes. So if someone pays me $1,000, my renter pays me $1,000, $500 right away goes to all these expenses. So I only keep half. Now that's a big chunk. That's one of the downsides of dealing with condos as opposed to buying like a single family home and renting it out. But again, these days people can't even afford to buy a home to live themselves. How are they supposed to buy a second home to rent out, right? So I know I wouldn't be able to do it. So what I do is I find these cheaper condos. I know I have to deal with these HOA, and sometimes they're very, very strict on these things, but that's the best I could do, because what can I buy with $134,000? I can't even buy one house these days, with $134,000, right? Or and it's very disappointing. But I gotta do what I gotta do. And I was able to buy 3 properties with $134,000. So, and over here I have current return on investment. So it's technically an incorrect way to calculate it, because this kind of means that I'm at a loss. Like when I bought these, I'm down $134,000, right? But that's not really true, because at any point in time I can sell these properties and get my investment back or even more, right? So technically because I paid cash for these, right? So because I paid cash for these, every time a renter pays me, it goes in my pocket and not to pay off a loan or a mortgage. So whenever you have a loan or a mortgage, yes, you go into debt. And when you go into debt, you owe money. So therefore you're negative on this money. But when you pay cash for something, you don't have the cash anymore, but now you have a physical real estate property that's worth that same amount, or usually higher, hopefully not lower. So you can always sell those and get your investment back. And over here, obviously, I have a monthly lease price. I have $800 and $1,000. Now over here, I kind of see how much is a security deposit and all of that stuff. Now let's do some calculations, guys. So I'm gonna open a calculator here, right? And I'm just gonna calculate the gross yield, yearly gross yield, right? So we're not gonna include our HOA or expenses or property taxes, but what we're gonna do in the end is we're gonna take 50% of that, right? Because I'm gonna assume that 50% of whatever I make goes into the expenses, right? So let's take the first one. Let's take the one that I bought for $41,000. And I'm renting it currently for $800 a month. So the way to calculate this is you actually take $800 a month, right? And you times it by 12. Okay. So we get that from this renter, I get $9,600 a month. And then what you want to do is you want to take that number and you want to divide it by the price that you paid for it, right? So I bought this unit for $41,000. So we're going to divide it by $41,000. Okay, you get this number, and then you do is you times it by 100 to get a percentage. And so my return on this $41,000 investment is 23.4% a year. Now that sounds like an amazing return, but remember guys, what we said earlier is that actually 50% of all this goes into all these crazy expenses, so you divide it by 2. And you get 11.7%, 12%, which is about, you could say it's about average, right? If you were to invest in ETFs, S&P 500 or QQQs, most of the time you will get anywhere from 8 to 12% return on those average, right? Over long periods of time. So it's kind of like, is this 12% return worth me dealing with renters, headaches, fixing stuff? What if something starts leaking? And it's so far it's been okay. I do have one renter that's a little bit rowdy and there's a couple of complaints and stuff like that. So that's one of the things. Could I have taken that money and put it in the stock market or maybe put it into Fundrise and get the same returns without the headache? Yes. But remember, it's always good to diversify. And if you could get, you have Fundrise as a crowdfunding real estate investment, then you have a little bit of physical investment, rental investment like this one. Then you have stocks, you have crypto, right? You have all these things together, and that protects you from that'll protect you. Let's say there's a stock market crash, you still have your real estate to rely on. Let's say there's a real estate crash, you still have the stock market or crypto to rely on, and that's very important. I'm not thinking of owning like 10 units because that would be too much, but owning always a little bit to having that additional source of income from renters, even though sometimes it's a little bit more headache. For me, it's worth it, and that is what I'm doing. So let's do the calculation for the $55,000 one, because the calculation for the 38 is going to be about the same. So for the renter that pays $1,000 a month, we're going to take $1,000 right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply it by 12. So from this renter, I get $12,000 a month, but the amount of money I paid for this property off the bat was $55,000. So you want to do is you want to divide it by $55,000, and you get this number, 0.21, okay? And you times it by 100 to get a percentage. And again, you get 21.8, so about 22%. Remember, I said the 50%, of all the income that I get actually goes into, HOA and all those expenses. You divide it by 2, and you get 11%. So again, it's about 11 to 12% return that I get, on these properties per year, which to me is a good return. Okay, I'm okay with it. The renters haven't been too crazy, and they haven't been very too annoying or anything like that. So for me, it's okay. It's a diversification to have actual physical real estate investment and not just crowdfunding like Fundrise or just stocks or anything like that. So that's the I calculated the gross yield, and then I calculated the net yield, net rental yield that I get per year. So that's pretty cool, guys. And so if you want to do similar math on the properties that you own or in the properties you want to buy, usually the way you want to do it, right? Let's say you always gotta, before buying a rental property, you always want to find out how much you could get in rent from that property, right? So let's say you found a property, right? And let's say the monthly rent over there, it says that you could rent it for about $1,200. And I'm just going to put it here, $1,200, right? So what happens is, we multiply it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And you get 14,400, right? So the good rule of thumb for things like that is that you don't want to pay more than 10 times the amount you can make a year in rent from this property, right? So you times it by 10 and you get $144,000. So if you could get if you find out that the amount of rent you could get for that property is $1,200 a month, and this property costs like $350,000, don't buy it, because your return on investment will be very, very low, if any. And if most of the time on properties that are that expensive, like $350,000, $500,000, you need to take out a mortgage or a loan on that, and then you would never be taking any money, and you'll be paying off this mortgage. I always say that you should buy these type of rental properties cash, because then you could start getting that cash flow in right away. Now, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's a little bit long. Hopefully you learned something. It was really fun describing this to you. Thank you so much for sticking around, for watching the video, guys. Remember, click that subscribe and like button. And, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you check out my Fundrise videos. They've been just kicking off. I'm going to link a few of my popular videos down below, guys. Make sure you check it out. Like those, spread the word. Tell a couple of your friends about this channel. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.